I work as a data reviewer for a company called Apex AI in San Francisco. It's not the kind of job people think about when they picture tech work. I don't write code. I don't design products. What I do is look at images all day and label them so the AI can learn what things are. It's tedious, repetitive work, but it pays $72,000 a year plus benefits, which is honestly pretty good for someone like me who barely finished a bachelor's degree in communications. The company develops image generation AI. You've probably used something similar. You type in a prompt like, "a dog wearing a hat," and the AI creates an image of exactly that. Our job is to review the training data, which is basically millions of images scraped from the internet, and make sure they're labeled correctly. Dog, hat, beach, car, things like that. We also flag anything inappropriate: violence, explicit content, copyrighted material. It's boring work, but someone has to do it. I've been at Apex for about 2 years now. I work remotely from my apartment in Oakland, which is why I took the job in the first place. I don't like offices. I don't like commuting. I like being alone with my headphones on, clicking through images for 8 hours a day, and then logging off and forgetting about it. My supervisor is a guy named Marcus. I've never met him in person. We communicate through Slack and have a video call once a week to go over my metrics. Accuracy rate, images reviewed per hour, flags submitted. As long as my numbers stay above a certain threshold, he leaves me alone. I like Marcus for that reason. He doesn't micromanage. We work with what the company calls builds. Basically, every few months the AI gets updated with new training data, and the engineers release a new build for us to test. Build 12 dropped about 3 months ago. That's when things started feeling off. The first weird thing I noticed was subtle. I was reviewing a batch of images tagged as suburban homes, and one of them looked familiar. Not familiar like I'd seen it before in the dataset, but familiar like I'd actually been there. It was a single-story house with beige siding and a red front door. There was a small garden on the left side with these white flowers I couldn't quite identify. The driveway had a crack running down the middle. I stared at that image for probably 2 full minutes trying to figure out why it felt so familiar. Then it hit me. The house looked exactly like my childhood home in Sacramento. Not similar, exact. Same beige siding, same red door, same garden where my mom used to plant lilies every spring. Same cracked driveway where I learned to ride my bike. I felt this weird flutter in my chest. I checked the metadata. The image had been generated by the AI, not scraped from the internet. That's what the tag said. Source. Generated. Build 12. I told myself it was a coincidence. There are probably thousands of houses that look like that. Beige siding and red doors aren't exactly unique. I flagged it anyway with a note. Possible copyright issue. Resembles specific private property. And moved on. 2 days later, I saw another one. This time, it was tagged as children's playground. The image showed a small park with a metal slide, 2 swings, and a wooden climbing structure. In the background, there was a chain-link fence, and beyond that, a row of apartment buildings. I recognized it immediately. It was the park, 3 blocks from my childhood home, the park where I used to play every day after school. I even remembered that the left swing had a slightly shorter chain than the right one, and in the image, you could see it. The left swing hung lower. My hand started shaking. I zoomed in on the image, looking for any detail that didn't match my memory, but I couldn't find one. It was perfect. Too perfect. I checked the metadata again. Source. Generated. Build 12. I took a screenshot and sent it to Marcus on Slack with a message. Hey, this image the AI generated looks exactly like a specific location I know. Is that normal? He responded about 20 minutes later. AI pulls patterns from training data. Sometimes it creates composites that feel familiar. Don't worry about it unless it's copyrighted content. I wanted to push back, to explain that this wasn't just familiar. It was exact. But I didn't. Marcus had that tone in his message that said he didn't want to deal with it. So I flagged the image and kept working. Over the next week, I saw 4 more. A corner store with a yellow awning. The interior of a classroom with green chalkboards and wooden desks arranged in rows. A birthday cake with blue frosting and the number 7 in candles. A backyard with a wooden fence and a trampoline. Every single one was a place or object from my childhood. Places I hadn't thought about in years. The corner store was where I used to buy candy after school. The classroom was my 2nd grade room at Monroe Elementary. The birthday cake was from my 7th birthday. The backyard was my best friend Kevin's house, where we used to jump on his trampoline for hours. I stopped flagging them after the 3rd one because I didn't know what to say. This AI-generated image matches my personal memory sounded insane, but I started keeping a folder on my desktop with screenshots. By the end of that week, I had 11 images. I didn't tell anyone. Not Marcus. Not my girlfriend, Amy. Not my roommate, Josh. Because what would I even say? That the AI at my job was somehow pulling images from my childhood memories? That didn't make sense. AI doesn't work that way. It generates images based on patterns in its training data. It doesn't have access to my personal memories or my personal photos. I've never uploaded childhood pictures to any public website. My mom has some old albums in her attic, but they're physical prints, not digital files. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe the AI was generating generic suburban images, and I was just projecting my own memories onto them. Maybe my brain was filling in details that weren't really there. But every time I looked at those screenshots, I knew that wasn't true. The details were too specific. The crack in the driveway, the shorter swing chain, the yellow awning with that specific tear on the left side. Then, 2 weeks ago, I saw something that made me feel physically sick. I was reviewing a batch tagged as family photographs. Most of them were standard stock photo stuff. Families smiling at the camera, kids blowing out birthday candles, people at the beach. Then I clicked to the next image, and my stomach dropped. It was a photo of a little boy, maybe 6 or 7 years old, sitting on a couch. He was wearing a red striped shirt and holding a stuffed bear. Behind him, you could see a window with blue curtains and a bookshelf. The boy was smiling, but it was that awkward smile kids make when they're told to smile for a photo. The boy was me, not someone who looked like me. It was me. I recognized that red striped shirt. I had that exact shirt when I was 6. I recognized that stuffed bear. His name was Mr. Buttons, and I carried him everywhere until I was 8. I recognized those blue curtains and that bookshelf. That was my childhood living room. I sat there staring at the screen, not breathing, trying to understand what I was looking at. The metadata said the same thing. Source. Generated. Build 12. I took a screenshot with trembling hands, and then I called Marcus. I didn't message him on Slack. I called his cell phone directly, which I'd never done before. He answered after 3 rings. Hey. What's up? 18. What's up? Marcus. I need to talk to you about something. My voice sounded shaky. The AI is generating images of me. Like actual photos of me as a child. There was a pause. What do you mean? I'm reviewing training data, and the AI generated an image that looks exactly like a photo from my childhood. Same room, same clothes, same everything. Another pause. Are you sure it's you? Sometimes people see faces that remind them of themselves. Marcus, I'm looking at a picture of me holding my stuffed bear in my childhood living room. This isn't a coincidence. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Send me the screenshot. Let me look at it." I sent it through Slack. I waited, listening to him breathe on the other end of the line. "Okay," he said slowly. "I see what you're talking about. That's unusual. But here's the thing. The AI doesn't have access to your personal data. It can't pull images from your private life. It generates based on patterns. Maybe someone you knew uploaded a similar photo online at some point and it got scraped into the training data. Marcus, I know what my childhood photos look like. This is exact. I believe you, he said, but his tone suggested he didn't. Look, I'm going to flag this with the engineering team. In the meantime, if you see any more images like this, document them and send them to me. Okay? Okay. And try not to worry about it. There's probably a logical explanation. He hung up. I sat there staring at my screen for a long time. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about that image, about the AI generating a perfect replica of a moment from my childhood. I thought about all the other images I'd seen: the house, the park, the classroom, the birthday cake. How did the AI know these things? I started going through old boxes in my closet, looking for childhood photos. I found a few albums my mom had given me years ago. I flipped through them, and there it was. The photo. Me, at 6 years old, sitting on the couch, holding Mr. Buttons, wearing that red striped shirt. The exact same photo the AI had generated. But this photo had never been digitized. It had never been online. It was sitting in a physical album in my closet for the past 15 years. I took a picture of the photo with my phone and compared it side by side with the screenshot from work. They were identical, not similar. Identical. Same angle, same lighting, same everything. I didn't go to work the next day. I called in sick. I spent the entire day searching online for any explanation. I read articles about how AI training works, about data scraping, about privacy concerns. Nothing explained how an AI could generate an image that perfectly matched a photo that had never been digitized or uploaded anywhere. I thought about calling my mom and asking if she'd ever scanned any of our old photos, but I didn't want to worry her. And honestly, I already knew the answer. My mom barely knows how to use email. There's no way she scanned and uploaded family photos. I went back to work the next day because I didn't know what else to do. I needed the job. I needed the money. And part of me wanted to see if it would happen again. It did. Over the next week, I saw 6 more images. A view from my childhood bedroom window, the interior of my dad's old car, a specific tree in my backyard that I used to climb, my elementary school cafeteria, Kevin's birthday party, my grandmother's kitchen. Every single image was a perfect recreation of something from my past. And every single image was tagged as generated by Build 12. I documented all of them. I sent them to Marcus. He stopped responding after the third one. I don't know if he flagged it with engineering like he said he would. I don't know if anyone is even looking into it. Yesterday, I saw the worst one yet. It was tagged as child portrait. I clicked on it and felt my blood go cold. It was me at maybe 8 years old, standing in my backyard. But I wasn't smiling. I was crying. My face was red and streaked with tears. I was wearing the clothes I wore the day my dog Bailey died. I remember that day so clearly. I came home from school and my parents told me Bailey had been hit by a car. I ran into the backyard and cried for hours. My dad came out and took a photo of me. I don't know why. Maybe he wanted to remember the moment. Maybe he thought I'd want it someday. But that photo has been in a box in my mom's attic for 20 years. I've never seen a digital copy. I didn't even remember it existed until I saw this AI-generated version. I logged off immediately. I haven't opened my work laptop since. I don't know what's happening. I don't know how the AI has access to these images. I don't know if someone at the company is messing with me, though I can't imagine how or why. I don't know if this is some glitch, some error in how the AI processes data. I don't know if my memories are somehow being pulled directly from my brain, which sounds insane, but I don't have a better explanation. What I do know is that I can't keep working there. I can't keep looking at images of my own childhood generated by a machine that shouldn't know they exist. It feels like a violation, like something inside me has been accessed without permission. Amy asked me last night why I've been so quiet lately. I told her I was stressed about work. She asked if I wanted to talk about it. I said no. How do I explain this to her? How do I explain that an AI is creating perfect recreations of moments from my life that I've never shared with anyone? I'm writing this because I need to get it out somewhere. I need someone to know what happened, even if it's just strangers on the internet who will probably think I'm lying or crazy. I don't have answers. I don't know what Build 12 is really doing or how it's accessing these images. I don't know if this is happening to other reviewers or just me. I don't know if I should quit or if that even matters at this point. All I know is that somewhere in the servers at Apex AI, there's a machine that knows things about my childhood that it shouldn't. And I don't think I'll ever feel safe around a computer again.